starting defense.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
All right, we are ready for some football. Vineland High School football. Scarpa here, along with special guest tonight, Terry Love. We had a weird game last time. We did Cherry Hill, and we sat in an end zone. Much better here at this beautiful field. Fans are coming in. Vineland coming off a loss, but what an effort, Terry.
Yes, first I'd like to say thanks for having me back. It was a little bit of an odd situation last time we were together, but it's good to be back at beautiful Gittone Stadium. Enjoying the new field. Let's get into what I'm looking forward to them keeping the intensity that they played that second half with last week. They really turned it on. They had a lot of energy. Just fell a little short in the end, but hopefully they keep that enthusiasm going and they just push through today.
Well, tonight's game captains Ryan Shelton and Mike Bachman out there. Looks like Vineland won the toss and will defer. We've got a lot to talk about. Can't wait to talk to you about it. But we first need to thank our sponsors.
The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football team this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caters, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, The Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, Technid Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richland Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Bondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating and Cooling,
Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating.
The Vineland High School football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season.
And we are back introducing the starting defense while we were away. And Vineland's going to have a challenge on defense today. For those of you who like the pro game or maybe some high-level college WAC conference shootouts, that's what Timber Creek has done for years, graduating, if not the best, one of the best quarterbacks in South Jersey last season. Their offense hasn't changed. They're going to give you 3 and 4 wide receivers on 80% of the plays, and they're going to throw this football about 35 times tonight. Marching Clan going to play our national anthem. We'll be right back to it. Well, T-Love, we're going to end up seeing Timber Creek on offense first, and that's quarterback Justin Jackson. He's second to Jada Byers in yards per game, averaging 268.5.
I mean, that's just letting you know that they really like to open their offense up. Toss the ball around, spread it out. So I'm looking at them for not to change at all, seeing what they can do against the pretty good Vineland defense.
Well, for Vineland, just one injury on the report, and that's defensive back of all things, Truss Cooper, who had such a great opening game, still nursing a leg injury. Nashawn Gregory, the junior at 5'11", 175, is going to be getting the start at nickelback, covering some of these passes, and the coaches really have a lot of high hopes for him.
Yes, before the game we spoke to Coach Russo, and he was really excited that Nashawn's going to be out there getting his chance to show what he can really do in a game situation.
Ready for some football?
Well, as we get started, we'll mention the starting lineups. And coming here tonight, I read that the game was starting at 7. So I thought I had a lot of time, and we were going to settle in, and Terry and I were going to get to talk a little bit about what's been happening. Of course, T. Love's always been at the games, and we communicate a little bit. But last week, Vineland with the turnover, starting slow, but that second half they dominated. The offense rolled off over 300 yards in that game, and unfortunate to end up taking the loss on that one. But when you look at Vineland's losses, Williamstown is ranked number 2 in South Jersey, and we were down 10-7 trying a 30-yard field goal in the fourth quarter to tie it up. So we're right there in the defending Group 5 champs, Lenape. We gave them everything they can handle in the second half. If not for the turnovers, would have been all right. Aparicio to kick. He squibs it, trying to find some opening through the middle, on his feet to the 45-yard line. Goes Tavon Alderman, the senior wide receiver. Most of the guys they're gonna play some wide out at some point in time.
So here we go, Rich. We'll get our first look at this spread offense that Timber Creek brings to the table.
And it's like 1, 2, 3, throw. 1, 2, 3, throw. So if Vineland's going to get a push, they're going to really need to get off the ball. Right now it's Jones in at nose guard to get the first play started off. As we know, he's a big 350-pounder. DeMarcus Rivers on the other side, 6'1", 315. And Jameer Malloy, who's really anchored that defense. He's been one of the stars on defense. We've got a lot of stats and numbers so far through the season. Go on. It's Jameer Malloy at senior at 6 feet, 245. Can track you down, holds his edge really well. Backers an opportunity. Looks like we're almost ready. A late check-in for Timber Creek. Last week, well, we'll wait till we get on offense and we'll fill you in on that, but interesting thing happening, a record. Only a couple yards there. So up front for Vineland, starting at nose guard, Robinson, number 50, Jameer Malloy, number 55, DeMarcus River, number 73. They're up on that line. Linebacking core, 81, Conrad Jackson, 7, Isaiah Blakely, one of the team leaders in tackles, along with 33, inside backer Phil Blackwell. Lathan Kent in his 2 starts has been impressive. The sophomore, number 30. Anthony Reyes with the cast off his hand. Look to see if he's able to maneuver a little better. He's at your other backer, and we'll talk about those D-backs in a second. Motion comes and back to throw. Big pressure, gets away. And then the pursuit, what nice pursuit, because it starts out that Broom comes up and almost gets there.
And as you were talking earlier, Malloy staying in his lanes, containing his edge, forced the quarterback back to the inside where there was oncoming defensive lineman.
George Robinson, that lineman, was a nose tackle who stayed in the play, number 50. So loss of 5, it's going to be 3rd and 15. Rushing attempts maybe 20% of the time for this Timber Creek offense, and this certainly a passing down. So Jackson rolls to the top, waggle, people in protection, ball overthrown, out of bounds. That Vineland defense makes yet another stop after a strong second half at Lenape. Couldn't ask for better.
Impressive job of the defensive backs there, keeping everything in front of them, not giving the quarterback a lot of options to throw the ball.
7, Isaiah Blakely. 34, Nazir Broom are going to do a lot of the returns, but right now it's 22. Tyreen Powell, leading receiver on the team, back to return this.
Would this be his first return of the season?
I think he may have had a chance at Atlantic City, but I don't know if he got the ball. But big pressure, bad punt off the side of the foot. It's going to take a Vineland hop and roll out of bounds at the Vineland 41. Nice job, defense.
Defense held. Offense gets a break with pretty good field position, starting at their own 40-yard line.
Well, we have the official starting lineup for Vineland High. You got that with you?
Yes, I do. We're going with sophomore running back Jonathan Toney, junior wide receiver number 81, Conrad Jackson, senior wide receiver number 4, Otis Harold, junior wide receiver Tyreen Powell.
And we'll get back to that, but right now Shelton has him ready. Fakes the handoff, and he's swarmed over. We talk about that speed in the skill position, but there's some big size in the middle, and that showed there.
To get back to the Vineland High starting offense, talk about the big boys up front. We have senior right guard Shane Ecker, senior right tackle Brandon Anderson, senior left guard number 52 Brandon Roldan, sophomore left tackle number 77 David Dutra. Skill positions here: junior fullback number 34 Nazir Broom, junior quarterback number 10 Ryan Shelton, and senior captain up front number 70 Mike Bachma.
Well, the ball's loose and Timber Creek comes up with it, so they're going to gain that field position now starting on the Vineland 35 after the turnover, and that's the one thing that plagued them last week.
Yeah, and it looks like it's not done rearing its ugly head just yet.
And you know what happened was, 4 turnovers at least, that's a lot. But when you don't get but one back, you almost want it. If you have some, you got to get half of those back, and that's all Vineland needed was another minute or another possession. So defense with their backs to the wall. Probably the tightest formation you're going to see tonight, and Jackson to throw from it. And it's thrown and completed for a gain of about 12 yards.
Javen Little with a nice little comeback route. Nice little throw there by Justin Jefferson, the quarterback, going pretty much across the field with that throw.
Yeah, Javen Little, he's a senior at 5'10", 175. He's got 9 catches for 191 yards, so a lot less than his average of 19 yards a catch. So run up the middle. Nice play and tackle by Blackwell.
Blackwell filling the A gap, shutting it down.
Blackwell won the leading tackles for the Fighting Clan last season, although he missed a few games. And he starts this one leading the team with 22 tackles. Isaiah Blakely second with 20 tackles, 3 sacks, and a fumble recovery. So those two leading the way along with Nazir Broom. They're your top 3 tacklers on this defense. So 2nd and 9. Quick hitch thrown to the outside. And the back receiver saying no catch. And sometimes you catch a break, but Justin Houston, I really thought he came back and made a nice catch. I don't know how that back judge is calling it over the front judge, but we'll take it, 3rd and 9.
Not going to question it.
And those are the patterns that when you're playing 7 yards off, they're going to complete them underneath. And when you have a long field to go, it's not a horrible thing. But starting at the 35 on this drive, it's going to make it give you no room for error. Screen is knocked down up front. Reyes and company getting their hands up in there, so it's going to be 4th.
Jameer Malloy, again, recognizing screen was coming. So laid back a little bit, jumped up, got his hand in the passing lane, and knocked that pass down.
It's going to be a field goal attempt. It's going to be at the 28, so that'll be a 38-yard attempt by Zach Colicchio. High snap, it's down. It's going to squirt over the, oh no.
Oh no.
It looked like it squirted over, but The officials right there, that's one of the hard things to call, whether it makes it or not. So on the missed field goal, because it goes in the end zone, it works like a punt. They're going to get the ball at the 20. Last week I wasn't sure of that, and they tried a 44-yard field goal, a 40-yard field goal. And you give the kicker a try if you can block up front, and as long as the ball goes into the end zone, it works like a touchback. So Vineland at their own 20 this time.
Vineland defense holding strong. 2 series in a row. Hopefully they can give the offense something to work with here.
Shelton the pass, and it's almost on the ball. A heap still.
Yeah, he read that hitch route. Stepped up in the passing lane and nearly came away with that one.
Boy, that was some speed. It looked like that maybe a contested pass, but he really got inside.
He closed quickly on that.
So it's going to be interesting what Coach Russo and Volpe decide they want to try to do offensively. Big rush, but that's because it's – and the ball's tipped. And tipped. Breaking to the outside. Shelton makes a touchdown-saving tackle at the 8 line. Tahib still gets the defense.
Another unfortunate break.
First and goal, ball was spotted at the 9.
So take out. It's like that defense had their back to the wall. It's the first time they hold Timber Creek to no points. We have 8:05 to go, and this will be a slow-moving game with all the incompletions and out-of-bounds plays. Throw. He's got, but there, right there is Tyreen.
Tyreen Powell coming from his free safety position, closing down on the tight end, making a nice open field tackle.
2.5. And he was the only one with an outside edge to be able to make that play, and he does a nice job from his safety spot. Led the team in tackles 2 ago.
Your safeties is leading in this.
Tyreen Powell leads the team with 24 tackles. Knew he had 11. One game. Here's a quarterback keep. He heads up the middle. From behind, Reyes has him, flips him backwards at the 5 with some help from J.P. Garcia.
Stopped on the play by number 84, Anthony Reyes. 45 on the bound.
And
it's a great backside pursuit by Anthony on that play.
On the goal, ball spotted at the 4.
yeah, I kind of thought there was just quick enough you couldn't get him from behind. That was one of the notes I had, but Reyes showing the speed on that one. So 3rd and goal, just inside the 5-yard line.
It is good seeing Anthony Reyes being able to play with 2 hands. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it definitely hampers you when you're a hands-on kind of defender. And you only have one to do it. All alone on the top of the screen. It's Tahib Hill. They're going to try to run it. Bachman's got his hands on him with some help from that D-line. Another nice stop on the inside as Kent is fired up, but it's the senior captain Bachman making the first hit on that one.
Bachman making a nice adjustment, shooting the A-gap, shedding the block, and getting right to the running back, meeting him in the hole.
Bachman, Blackwell, and Kent, 4th down. Looks like Timber Creek likes their field position. And they're going to decide to kick it. I thought they were going to try to do something here with it, but trying to get those 3 points on the board. The second try for Zach Coluccio. It's high enough, and it is good. Just sneaks in on the left side.
Field goal attempt is good. 5:49 remaining in the first quarter.
So a 21-yard field goal.
Again, Vineland's defense. Can't blame them. Backs up against the wall. They made another stop, only giving up 3 points in that situation. That's big for them.
1st and goal at the 9, and you give up 4 yards in 3 plays before that, and had good pressure on it. So it's just a matter of protecting that football. But this is a game almost like in college when you go play Navy. Or Air Force, I believe, has it even better. Air Force is triple option offense.
Yes.
It's something different. You don't prepare for it. Doesn't matter if you're Alabama or Notre Dame or if you're whoever. It makes you prepare differently. Just like when every team was running a wing T but one, when Coach Parentazzi was coaching, yeah, it made you prepare differently.
Yes.
And anytime you do that, it takes a little bit away.
It's a shock. It's a shock to you. You don't know quite how to play certain things. You only get a week to prepare for it, so you're not fully adjusted to it. That's why people dread seeing Navy and Air Force and Army on their schedules.
It's like a knuckleballer if you're a hitter. Coluccio line drives to tall Kennedy, takes it at the 8. He's returned a few in the past, but this one has good defense, but he gets it over to 25 to the 27-yard line. Make that the 26, where Vineland will take over.
All right, let's hope they have all those turnovers out of their system now. Go full tilt with the offense here.
Yeah, I think this team, they're not enormous on the edges and in the defensive backfield, but they are very quick. And the flag hits the field on first. Imagine how stressed I would have been if I knew the game started at 6. Well, we're lollygagging, taping things down. You know, I like to be quite well prepared beforehand. The penalty is going to go on Timber Creek.
Yeah, you missed anyone out there listening, you missed quite the MacGyver show with Rich finding spare pieces of tape wherever he could and taping things down, so we had all of our notes here.
Don't tell my secrets, or they're going to get mad in the truck. As Vineland gets ready, thank you to our crew tonight: Kayla Spire, Tanner Bushman, Jordan Skarzinski, crew chiefs Doug Deal and Ryan Steinbrunn. Executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori. Not much on the middle, but crawling forward for about 2 or 3. Just going to set up second and about 3 yards. Goes Broom.
Nazir Broom, great job that time. The hole wasn't there. He just kept pumping the legs, moving, kept going forward, picked up 2 to 3 yards on that one. Not a bad job at all, considering how that play started out.
Yeah, and what's neat with Vineland this year, I was going to mention last week's passing, the most attempts that I can find in the history of Vineland High football with over 30 attempts. Shelton under pressure, picks his way through. More pressure coming, floats it. Otis Harold comes up, but it's going to short hop him. Nice try by Otis, but it's going to be 3rd and short now.
Shelton in that situation doing one of the things you hate seeing a quarterback do sometimes, throw across your body.
Yeah, go to the backside. Yeah, because it looks like such a smooth play, but, you know, you talk about, oh, he threw it 30 yards downfield. Well, sometimes they're throwing it 30 yards across the field to get to where they're going, and it's a 60-yard throw. That one there wasn't a 60-yard throw, but still you're moving away from the football. That's why those out patterns are so hard, and the way they jumped that inside slant, yeah, it's got to get there. And not sure.
Tyrone Powell being sent out of the game looks like an equipment issue.
Nothing like losing your top receiver on 3rd down. Vineland's receiving, led by Powell, with 12 receptions for 151 yards through the first 3 games. So Nate Schnell in, the punter, he's in at wide receiver now on this 3rd down. Shelton back deep, pressure, spins away, but not long enough as he's going to be sacked for a loss of about 13. Vineland going to be punting from their own 20. If I'm not mistaken, getting up from the bottom of that pile's Colby Miller.
Shelton had open receivers that time, just didn't quite have enough time to let that pass go.
Well, hopefully Snell be able to get away a good punt here, give Vineland something to work with. So you hear a fan mentioning the defense can't play the whole game. Nice punt by
Looks
Snell.
like it's going to take a little bit of a violent roll.
Sideways and down at the 49-yard line. He's putting that from his own 10, so nice job there, giving that defense a little bit of room. Why is he walking? Oh, okay, that's the extra ball. Like,
Yeah.
why is he walking there?
Special thanks from the Bond High School
Guess they're actually
football
saying
program.
Daniel Medina
All of
touched
our
the ball at the
sponsors.
50.
Oh, okay.
His initial touch.
Major role in helping us become competitive again.
Well, the defense, they've played well before, but it really seems like they are swarming on that run. And once the ball's leaving the hands, you see total pursuit by the defense. So let's see what's going to happen here.
Looks like we have an audible at the line.
Looking deep, throwing, and out of bounds. Tall Kennedy in the coverage. That was Devon Leary in a.
And that quarterback for the first time.
So Leary, the freshman, the brother of the Timber Creek sensation. I don't see any. I don't see Justin on the sideline for them. Justin Jefferson's out. And you mentioned Leary in. Nice catch, Coach. 2nd and 10. They try to hit the middle. Not happening. DeMarcus Rivers, first one with contact before Blackwell, as always, is there to help out.
Again, standing the blocker up, seeing which way the play's going. Long arm, short arm, get him out of your way.
Heard a lot about Rivers last year as a freshman. They thought maybe he could be that nose guard they were looking for. And that's a super big task. You have physically mature 18-year-old guys you're playing against, but he's shown he's more than ready and has really played well these last couple games. 3rd down now, right at midfield. Leary at QB. Vineland looks like they're sending pressure as Otis Harold stunts off the top and floated to the outside. Tyreen Powell makes the solo tackle for a gain of 2. That's what a safety does, come up and make a tackle. Nice job. It's going to be 4th down, 4th and about 7 at the Vineland 47.
Tyreem didn't have much to grab onto, but he made sure he held on tight for that.
Yeah, Tyreen Powell, only a junior at 6'4", 185. He's already received his one scholarship offer from Rutgers that I'm aware of. But he has that speed and that 6'4" in his length. But he plays a really good safety, and Tyreen Powell's going to try to take this one back for the Fighting Clan as Timber Creek set to punt. Looks like Vineland jumped off sides. And that it's not enough for a 1st down, but it may be enough to have Timber Creek go for it, as it'll be 4th and about 2. So costly
the end
penalty.
rusher there down the bottom of the field got off to just a little bit too early of a start. Now, do you expect Timber Creek to not run a play, just try to get Vineland to jump in this situation?
Ooh, I got to think they just got done getting chewed out about jumping off sides on a punt. Anytime somebody wants to give you the football, I say take it. Leary to throw. He fires, hit, tackled immediately. And Tyreen is saying no catch, that it's on the ground. Let's see what the official has to say.
Officials are getting together here. Incomplete.
And incomplete. Powell is right. The hit charged the ball loose. And Vineland's going to gain some field position on this one.
Nice square tackle. Face mask in the chest, causes the ball to pop out. Once again, defense getting the job done.
Yeah, and that's a sign of a nice team picking each other up. An aggressive offsides keeps the Timber Creek offense on the field, and the defense does it again. So Vineland with great field position at their own 43. Shelton throws to Powell a little behind him, because he would have had about the 10. Powell sticks his hand back, not able to come up with it.
Nice little pick route, combo route. Run by Tony and Tyreen Powell there. Passes need to be a little crisper.
Yeah, Tony's been Vineland's running back out of the backfield, kind of what you'd call your 3rd down back, even though it's not just on 3rd down. Tony with 10 catches for 70 yards. Had most of them last week, sneaking out of the backfield. 2nd and 10. This one's going to be run. Shelton takes it himself through the middle, stays on his feet, dives across the 45 for a first down, Fighting Clan.
Across the 50 to the 45. Going to play be a first and 10.
Brandon Anderson, probably about 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, unwillingly set a pretty nice block.
Well, Shelton leads the team in attempts with 44 rushing attempts, 223 yards, the most yards on the team. He's got 5 yards a carry, 74 yards on the ground a game, followed by Broom with 36 for 150. Broom's averaging 4.2, and Anthony Arthur, the freshman, averaging 5.5 a carry on his 19 carries.
That's good. Vineland got the offense as their first down under their belt. Hopefully that's a nice morale booster.
Shelton stepping up, floats it out. He's got a receiver. Nice completion and catch. Just as I mentioned, Anthony Arthur with his 100 yards and a touchdown. He stays alive for Shelton, who does some magic, jumping around in the pocket, and Vineland on the move. I've gone through years, Terry, where field goals barely factor into anything. And we have Vineland. When we played Williamstown, now the number 2 team in South Jersey, it was a field goal game.
That decided it.
Now Tony's going to get a carry on this.
Arthur.
Excuse me, Arthur. Arthur picks up 4.
On that previous play, Arthur, excellent job seeing his quarterback was in trouble, coming back to him to help him out. That shows a lot of football IQ.
For a freshman.
For a freshman, yes. For a
Not
freshman.
that we think freshmen don't, but when you're out there 2 or 3 years and it's a different game, every step you make from your old 110s to the 125s to the junior, and a really smart football player comes from a good football family also. So 2nd down and 7. Shelton throws it. Does he have it? Does he hold on? Otis Harold had it in his hands, and he's going to have it wrestled away inside the 2-yard line, where Timber Creek will take over.
Tried everything he could to bring that down. Just looked like the Timber Creek defenders was a tad bit stronger than he was, but ended up wrestling it away for him as they went to the ground.
Yeah, in wrestling, you weigh the same weight when you get together. But on that one, Otis Harold at generous 5'8", 140, had the hands on it, came down with it, but the defender just kept pulling and pulling. And
there's probably a 30 to 40-pound difference between the two. So,
and one guy trying to catch it, the other guy just trying to rip it out, so he had a head start too. Now that defense can do something here. We're going to be all right, and Vineland will get decent field position. We're almost done the first quarter with 20 seconds left. And coming out of the backfield and picking up 2 or 3. On the run goes Vince Carr.
That was a bit of an oddity for Timber Creek. They were in good old I formation. Something you don't see in football anymore, but was a staple.
Of just getting more people on one side of the field going in the same direction than they have. I can remember you had dive, then you had like blast, which meant the fullback went first. And then when you all went, I forget what you called it, power or whatever.
Yeah, power.
So you'd have the fullback go, the halfback go, 2 lead blockers through the hole.
So it was quite the sound on the field in those days. Fullbacks and linebackers meeting each other in a hole.
I think every other play was what they call an ISO, where the fullback goes at the unblocked linebacker and the back picks off of him. But Vineland's defense has looked really sharp so far. The offense has moved the ball. It's just been the turnovers, and there's been 3 of those. The last one gives Vineland great field position defensively, but you turned it over inside the 2.5. So, yeah, and that's been one thing that's happened to Vineland. We've fumbled 2 balls in the end zone going into score. We've lost some inside the 10, and that's what happens when you have all these new, what you like to call skill position guys, finding their way, people in and out with injuries. But as I started to say before that last drive, the number 2 team in South Jersey, you're 10-7 kicking a field goal in the 4th quarter to tie it. And because you don't get it, things happen and you got to press and go. Last week it was 4 field goal attempts, they made 1, and that was the difference in the ball game. You know, so it's much more prevalent in high school. There was even a nice article. Somebody hit a 52-yarder. I forget where he was from, but I was reading that on Twitter from the South Jersey Gridiron Gang.
I mean, in our day, Rich, playing, it was usually one of your big linemen that just happened to have a big leg and can go through. Now you're getting kids that used to play soccer, don't like it as much anymore. They come out, they have this really strong, accurate leg, and they're putting foot to the ball, making pretty lengthy field goals nowadays.
So second down, pressure in the backfield, nowhere to go as that's closed up.
Ball carries number 9. Yeah, that's corner carry. Stop on the paper number 55 for the San Antonio Lions, Jameer Kaloy.
So you mentioned that. That's
There's a third down.
kicker we've been using lately for extra points, Henry Garton. I believe he's 3 for 3 in his extra point attempts. Soccer family, soccer player, mom's the head female soccer coach as they turn that program around. They've been on the upswing now, and she's done an outstanding job. So you know he's kicked a few balls in his day.
Yes.
So third down, this is all about field position now. A little confusion in the backfield, but it's Justin Jefferson back in at quarterback.
Defense holds here. They give the offense a chance to get the ball with pretty good field position.
Well, guess we'll call that play action. But throwing deep and overthrowing the intended receiver. That was headed for Taheeb Still, but goes incomplete. So now Timber Creek's going to be punting out of their end zone. And the defense has been up to the test with this spread offense. Everybody in the right spot doing what they need to do, and that D-line has shut down the run with some help from the linebackers.
Tell you what, Justin Jefferson on that probably heaved that a good 50 yards.
Yeah, I think it surprised Tall Kennedy as he was stride for stride. It's like, oh my gosh, it's still going? It's still going, and it overthrew both of them. So another punt attempt. Vine a little anxious last time and jumped off, but what a nice block right before Vineland gets there. It's going to hop to Powell. Powell's got it at the 49. Not much blocking in front, and he's tripped down, but a nice return nonetheless as he brings it back to the 38-yard line.
Looks like behind the play, Nazir Broom comes up limping a little bit. He's going after the punt there, trying to get it blocked. I think he ran into one of his own players.
Boy, I've got a lot of arrows happening here as I try to do Coach Parentazzi's drive summary. I always enjoy hearing it. And it's kind of, if you're going to keep something from the game, it's pretty neat to watch. It really gives you the idea of the flow of this one. And this Vineland offense looking to move into that red zone one more time. So give up the middle, spin, move. It's going to be about 2 or 3 for Anthony Arthur.
Anthony Arthur is so impressive as a freshman running back. Physically, he does not look like a freshman running back, and the way he runs it doesn't look also like a freshman running back.
Good size as a freshman at 5'9", 160, but with the weight program run by Coach Cliff Smith, I think everybody gains about 15 pounds of what I like to call density.
Yes.
Yeah, and there will be some more height. Shelton on a boot, gets it complete to Conrad Jackson and picks up about 3 or 4. Conrad Jackson, a little bit of a surprise with what he's been able to do. He's been playing a little bit of tight end and a little bit in the slot, and he's shown very, how'd you describe it, Love?
Very soft hands. I like to see his soft. I've seen a few passes he catch. They kind of just float into his hands. He holds them nice. I've seen passes that he's had to tip to himself. That shows a lot of skill. It shows you have those nice soft hands that you're looking for in a receiver.
Well, coming into this one, it was Powell with 12 receptions, with the most receptions, but it's actually Conrad Jackson with 5 catches for 156 yards. He's edging out Tyreen Powell by 5 yards on that. So when he gets the ball, his yards per catch is really nice. They usually hit him with a little seam route from that tight end spot.
And he's a good yak receiver, as the term goes.
Yakety yak. Well, don't forget, if you're watching us now, you can always find us on VPS Broadcasting on YouTube. And it's nothing like sitting down at the TV and watching it also. And you can do that Saturday and Sundays at 6, Mondays at 7 on Comcast, Channel 9, Verizon, Fios, Channel 41. I never get like a good picture when I try to do the, I'm old. I try to do the YouTube on the TV.
The YouTube's not working.
So Conrad Jackson coming off the field. with just a little hitch in his giddy up. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in there as trainer Dave takes him to the side. But it's third down, third and about 3.
Looks like we'll get our first look in a while at Anthony Reyes playing tight end in place of Conrad Jackson.
Yeah, Reyes coming in the starting tight end, and there was a little bit of a desperation time where with the cast he went at tight end, made 2 catches, and I don't think he got tackled, but he got stopped. Like, he's a horse to bring down. And Shelton's going to take it himself, picks his way right to the 30 where he takes a big hit. He's going to be about a yard short. So it's going to be 4th and about a yard.
I don't think there's going to be any hesitation here with Vineland. They know they need this. They're going to go ahead and run a play on 4th down, try to pick up this first down.
I don't know if they may try to pick up something bigger. You got a big tight end blocker in Reyes, the senior captain. And he's hanging out at the bottom of the screen, 5'11", 220. There's a give to Arthur in the middle, and he's hit and dropped. Outstanding tackle for loss. You got Clarence Henderson. I got Deshaun Polk.
There's 2 players there from Timber Creek finding their way through the gaps, shutting that play down. Looks like Coach Russo's a little upset with his lineman after that play.
Yeah. When a number 55 is involved, that means you didn't handle the interior. Yeah, linemen are chip on him, get to the next level, get to the next level. When I used to coach, sometimes I just say, just block the first level. I don't need anything else. I've got these bags. But you come off a block. That one just looked like a miscommunication.
Yes.
Everybody thought everybody else had him. So Timber Creek withstands. Jefferson to throw. And coming up and making a stick on the play is Tall Kennedy.
Making a nice break on that little hitch route there.
Well, Powell and Tall Kennedy coming up to get you is a pretty aggressive defensive backfield. But good gain on the play for 6 yards. And hit as soon as he catches it.
That time, Blakely doing the job, making a nice break on the route for no gain.
Boy, they're making some plays. Third down here. Wouldn't be surprised to see Timber Creek run it. Coaches were real upset about that last play. I don't know why they're jumping up and down. Just great conversion by the defense. Got 25, Nashon Gregory out here trying to handle this trips formation with Powell and J.P. Garcia.
5 wide. 5 wide, Rich.
Oh, and a false start, it looks like, on Timber Creek. Looked like Tahib still had the wrong count on that one.
I think there goes your running play.
There's my running play is gone, and I don't think that was if a wide out on the top of the screen jumps.
Yes.
3rd and 8. You got to love what the defense has done so far, and it's all about stopping third downs on defense and converting them on offense.
Timber Creek coming back out 5 wide, really trying to spread that Vineland defense out.
All alone in the backfield is Jefferson. There's pressure coming. He fires it complete for the first down. Hit immediately and brought down by Tall Kennedy.
Pass is completed to number 3. That was Little. 1st and 10 for Timber Creek. Ball will be spotted at the 45.
Say again, DeMarcus Rivers, great pressure. Jefferson just had just enough time to get that away.
Quarterback takes it himself. He's tripped up by Reyes and cleaned up by Lathan Kent.
Jefferson stopped on the play by number 55.
Good job of reading. Little quarterback draw there.
Well, it looked like
Staying
it
at
went.
home.
Looked like it went for a little more. His knee must have hit before that. So 2nd and 8. Boy, I'll tell you what, that Vineland defense is there the second they touch it. As Tall Kennedy makes another nice tackle. And they're really delivering some shots on these plays. It's
Yes, not only are they making a nice break on the ball, they're letting the receivers know anytime you catch one, this is what's going to be the rest of the night.
And we haven't seen missed tackles. They made short tackles. Third and really short here, right at the Vineland 45. Jefferson takes it himself. He's tripped up at the line.
Blackwell on the tackle there.
Blackwell and Kent combine. You know, I almost hate to, you know, sometimes when you compliment something different happens, but the tackling's been outstanding. Their break on the football's been outstanding. Their positioning's been outstanding. Just looking to make a stop. That one's going deep, and it looks like it's going to drift out of bounds. Intended for still.
Second down.
Got behind Tall Kennedy there with the double move, hitch and go. Fortunately for Vineland, pass was overthrown, and it looked like it was going to head out of bounds also.
Well, 6 minutes and 11 seconds. The Timber Creek Chargers have that field goal. They're 1 for 2 in field goals. Vineland turning it over inside the 2.5-yard line. Then got back down inside the 30 on another drive. Just looking for that defense to make a stop, and down in distance looking good here at 2nd and 10. Another penalty, and looks like it's going to be on Timber Creek again.
Give the Vineland defenders the chance to catch their breath here with this penalty, because Timber Creek has gone to the hurry up, getting their plays in right from the coach on the sideline, lining up on the ball.
So 2nd and 15, and it means they're going to need a couple of those little hitch routes or hook patterns, whatever you want to call them, they've been running. Got Vance Carr in there, right?
I believe it's going to be Tarheeb Still taking the snap.
And it's a bad snap. It was Still. He falls down on it, but a big loss on the play. About 17 yards. Boy, not only is that a break to try to stop this drive at 3rd and really long, we're going to pretend that's at the 35, so that's 10, 20, 32 yards, so 33 yards, I believe. 3rd and 33. So they get a little fancy. We noticed the new quarterbacks lined up. They shipped over. It's Still in there at that wildcat position. And the second play in a row, a bad snap. I know there was a false start, but that one went a little crooked the last time too.
Yes.
3rd and long, Vineland defense doing everything they can. They just need one more play here.
It's the old umbrella defense. Keep
Rivers.
everything in front of you.
Rivers, Bachma, and Malloy up front. See if anybody can generate a rush when they go 3 on 6. Let's see. Rivers gets a push on the edge. The pass thrown complete in the middle. Powell makes the tackle, but they've got those yards in that first down.
Number 1.
Big gain on the
Tarheeb
play.
Hill there running a beautiful post pattern. Able to get open, make a nice reception for Timber Creek.
So Tarheeb there makes up for jumping off sides. It's like one of the Vineland defenders lost him in there. Jefferson's going to take it himself and get brought back after he picks up about 3. Big 3rd down conversion for the Chargers.
Stopped on the play by number 70.
All right, Vineland defense being put to the test again.
And they're on that field an awful long time.
Yes.
We heard one of the fans there, the defense can't be out there, and that was 2 drives ago.
Yeah, 2, yes.
Just a breakdown in coverage. See if they go back to it again, see if they head for Justin Houston, but instead it's a dive up the middle, and there's a hole. Lineman trips him up. It's going to be, looks like enough for a first down.
Clarence Henderson, pretty nice size back at 5'11", 210, just putting his head down, finding a hole and going through.
It looks like he has the first down, but he also has a little bit of a leg problem. Well, so close to stopping that drive. And you still have time, but a big conversion for Timber Creek.
Good thing as we were talking, Vineland defense on the field. It's unfortunate it's an injury, but at least this gives them a chance to catch their breath here because they've been out there for quite some time right now, Rich.
Exactly, and they're not dealing with an easy offense. So I've mentioned a few times the Williamstown game. They're at 3-0, and we're right there with them. And Timber Creek, after losing quite a few guys, they come in ranked number 4 in South Jersey. And we're 3-0 with 4 minutes left to go in the first half. Vineland has had the ball inside the 5 and inside the 30. Just not able to cash in, but they're going blow for blow with one of the better teams in South Jersey, with one of the more confusing offenses you're going to see.
Lesser seen offenses, definitely. So
that's a much better way to describe it. Not super confusing, but it's something you don't see 4 and 5 guys out wide. So this is a story about the turnover from what we've lost last year. When you say, oh, Vineland's coming in at 1 and 2, but we've played some really good teams, and we played them tough, and we're learning. We're learning how to finish with this group. Ryan Shelton just gets better and better each week. The defense, what they did in that second half last week to give the offense that many chances and almost be able to pull it off. But if you're going to turn it around, you got to get one like this.
Yes.
Longest time and longest yard drive of the ball game here. Timber Creek has it right on the 15. Five receivers yet again. Here's a blitz, and there's pressure.
Slip screen.
Little slip screen, picking his way to the 5, and perfect call on the blitz. As long as you get it off. So it looks like it's going to be second and about 1. Ball right outside the 5-yard line. Vineland thinking they may try to pound it in there. They go with their big formation in the front.
Yeah, sending in Isaiah Jones up front. Hopefully he can grab a hold of 2 blockers there. Free up your linebackers.
What seems like
tackles.
The main run is Jefferson on a delay through the middle, but now we have 3 backs back there. The back guy gets it, picking his way towards the goal line, spinning, twisting, turning, and driving into the end zone for the score.
Javon Little never kept the legs still, kept them pumping. Paid off for him.
Yeah, he was stopped but kept squirting to the outside and just nobody there to fold him up before he can fall down. So once again, Coluccio is going to try to make it 10-0 Timber Creek as we await Vineland to get the ball back. And they'll have time with 3:02 to go and all their timeouts. And the kick is good. Boy, that 3rd and 32 was big.
Hopefully that amount of time that the Vineland defense was out there, the Vineland offense was on the sidelines, getting things together. So they don't have any more of those turnovers. They can put together a nice drive to end this half.
Yeah, it's tough, much tougher calling an offensive game. When you're passing, all right. You're running, all right. You're not doing one a lot better than the other. You don't know where you're slanting. You're trying to mix it up. You're trying to be a little deceptive of when you do things. And sometimes it's like you're juggling a couple balls and you're doing okay, but you haven't grabbed hold. And this has been going on for Vineland. As I mentioned, all the yards last week, over 300. And it's nice that it's mixed, but they haven't quite found that go-to thing.
Yes.
I don't know that their identity is, I'm mad, we're running up the gut, you're not going to stop us, and I don't know if it's, we're going to spread you out and eat you up. They do both pretty well, but not a strong lean on either side.
You have to have one of those things you're doing well week in and week out to pull out games like this.
Well, see if Coluccio decides to still kick it deep.
Yeah, Broom and Tall Kennedy back deep.
It looks like it's going to go to Tall Kennedy at the 13. Looking for some blocking, gets to the top of the screen. Real nice job of containment. Roderick Boyd for the Chargers escorts him out, but not till he's at the 36-yard line.
Pretty nice return.
You just see how it's one block. Right there is really one block. The outside contain guy was a little inside but could make it to the border. Just a body in there. You know, I often miss watching like a wall return where somebody like Tall Kennedy, as fast as he is, gets the ball and runs to where you've set up your wall. And if he gets there, he's getting going.
Return it left or
Shelton
return it
fakes,
right.
Looks deep,
He's got
pulls
time.
it down, floats it short. There's some room there across the 50 and the 40.
Jonathan Toney there, helping his quarterback out.
Well, Tony found some space to sit in, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Nice job
Shelton
by the sophomore.
An excellent job by Shelton, scrambling in the pocket, checking down. I'm sure that was probably his third option on that play.
And he kept it alive, stepping up with his legs. Thought about it, came back to it. Shelton going to take it himself. Can he get through that interior line? Uses a straight arm. And the D-back comes up quick and makes the stop. Almost able to bust it before, once again, Tahib still involved. So it's going to be a gain of about 4, 2nd and 6. Got to start checking in with our clock. We're at 2:25 and running in the first half. On second, Shelton fakes, throws, complete again to Toney. Toney makes a move, squares it straight up the field. Way to extend those angles and pick up a big first down.
Again, 5-yard completion, making your moves, finding some open space in the field, picking up a huge first down.
And a sophomore, again, with that football IQ. You know, he knew he needed a first down, squares it up, extends the angles, gets everything he can, protects the football. So 1st and 10, Vineland now as they approach the 20. Shelton's got pressure in his face. He's going to have to get rid of it. And he throws it away beautifully, takes a late hit, and there's
the flag. There we go. Something going Vineland offense's way there.
Emery Moore said, I ran 30 yards to get you. I'm going to push you down, and he shouldn't have, as the late hit after Shelton had gotten rid of the football. And Vineland started that at the 26. So we get in the whole 15, and we got to go half the distance.
Oh, they're waving the flag off, Rich. Why, I have no idea, but they're waving the flag off.
He didn't even go talk to nobody. I could see if you went and talked, they talked you out of it. He had buyer's remorse on that flag as he stood alone and decided to pick it back up. That's what happens when you're near the other team's sideline. So 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. There's a give up the middle. Nice hard running inside the 20 to the 19-yard line goes Broom.
Nice hard running. Also, nice job of Brandon Anderson. Checking his first man, his first line of defense, and then moving up, scoop blocking up to the second line. Allowing Broom to get those extra 2 to 3 yards.
That's one thing I miss about doing play-by-play as a former lineman like yourself. I haven't mentioned, what year did you graduate there, T?
92.
So 3rd down for the Fighting Clan. Shelton to throw. It's complete. Garcia needs to break a tackle. He stays on his feet, but he's going to be short. It's going to be 4th and about 2 or 3. Vineland looks like they're going to take a timeout. Oh, Timber Creek took that?
Yes, Timber Creek took it.
Wow, Timber
Wow.
Creek says we want some more on 4th and 5. They have 4th and 5 on the board. It looks more like 4th and 3 out on the field. So, graduated with Coach Russo what year?
1992.
92. You're like the only group, I was away in college, that I didn't get to see a ton, and then went on and played at Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yes.
As a fast-moving guard, which I don't think they had you pull back then.
No,
now you're
no.
Mr. Running Marathons. I believe you could pull now. I just don't know if you got enough junk in the trunk to make the block.
Yeah, but we're talking 120 pounds difference in me now. Yeah, things wouldn't go so well
Say
if I
about
came around an edge.
86 pizzas. So 4th down for Vineland. This is going to be a big play here. Out of field goal range for Vineland. So it's going to be a go-for-it time. Ball right on the 12-yard line. Third time Vineland's been inside the 20. They've yet to get any points. Let's see what Coach offensive coordinator Volpe and head coach Russo have up their sleeves. See if they try to get Shelton in some space, but Timber Creek looks like they're coming.
I would look to sprint him out here.
Sprint Shelton out, yeah.
Yes, I'd look to sprint Shelton out here. He's been doing pretty well with the sprint out passes, so I'd look for them to run that here.
And with only 15 yards to the end zone. Well, now Vineland's going to take a timeout. Take a look at everything. Got no problem with that timeout whatsoever. You got 3. You're going for it on 4th. Looks like they may decide they want to try to kick it. Henry Garton, the junior, at 5'8", 145. He's made his last 3 extra points. So it looks like personnel may be getting swapped out. This will be a fairly long one. The ball is at the 17, so that's 27. 33-yard field goal. I go 6, but 33, 34-yard field goal.
Yeah. That's a nice, healthy kick.
And you know what scares me? It's the blocking, not so much the kicking. Camden Watts, number 14, is the holder. It's a big field goal try for Garton. Kick is down. Garton puts his foot into it. And he's made it!
Hey!
Outstanding. Congratulations, Henry Garton, as he gets it over the upright. That timeout called for a good decision. Vineland's got it back to a 1-score game, and congratulations to the sophomore, who is now 4 for 4 when he puts his foot to the ball.
Congratulations. The excitement going through his veins right now is unbelievable. Everybody's coming over on the sidelines congratulating him. He's screaming up to his parents in the stands.
What? I forgot the distance. I was
34.
34-yarder.
One of the good things about that, during the timeout, when it was decided he was going to go in the kick, every single player that was with the earshot of Coach Russo and Garton came over and gave him a pat on the head. They believed in him. That's a good thing. That's something good to see with a young team like this.
Well, Vineland with 3 people that can handle the kicking duties, including Carly Kling, Robert Aparicio, but it's Garton who makes his last 3. Should mention Robert Kling, a all-time kicking leader, graduated a year or 2 ago. He's in a polo shirt on the sideline, so he's back coaching, helping out, and he's got a nice group to work with.
And it gives him a chance to pick on his sister.
Yeah, we did the game at Cherry Hill where Carly made her first extra point.
Yes.
I think she made like the first 3 or 4 in a row. So Vineland to kick off. 57 seconds to go. Just trying to get this deep, I would assume. And Vineland will be getting the ball to start the second half. Bachman Shelton deferred in the first half, and it's a squib kick coming to the 30. Moving to the middle, looking for his return lane, and is going to be hit and brought down right about the 44-yard line.
That was number 12. And return.
56 yards for a touchdown left for Timber Creek, and they're going to probably push this Vineland defense as they wanted the ball back, calling the first time out down there.
See, I'm going to say they're going to come out in that 5 wide spread.
Yeah, we got 3 down at the bottom, 2 at the top, and Vance Carr up at the very top of the screen, matched up with J.P. Garcia. There's a little pressure. I think his arm's hit when he throws it, but it gets to the receiver at the 38-yard line where it's caught by Javon.
Vineland sitting back in a zone defense. Javon Little just finding that little bit of open area.
I don't know, I think it's pass time now for Timber Creek. You know, maybe you bring one of your linebackers up front with a little stunt. And I don't mean blitzing them, but you have your big run stoppers going a little smaller with Bachman there. That tackle for loss last week. He's in at nose. And Vineland did go a little smaller up front. Swing pass. Powell's held. No flag. And Pursuit tackles him down.
He sure enough was held.
Grabbed him right by the shoulder pad on his shirt as he tried to turn. And
when I see the numbers from the front of his jersey end up on the back of his jersey, I think that's you're being held.
So Timber Creek takes a timeout. We definitely don't want to give those 3 points back here. Around the Old Cape tonight, it's Bridgeton at Mainland. Egg Harbor Township at Oakcrest. Kingsway at Millville. St. Joe's at AC. Oh, we're still on this date.
Okay, I'm looking at that. Sorry, Rich.
Yeah,
sorry.
Jumping ahead. We got a lot to do before that. Shawnee at St. Augustine. Both teams in need of a big win there. Buna at Lower. We'll talk about that later as we've got second down and 4. 32 seconds left in the first half. Jefferson stands, throws, hit, missed tackle, but then here comes Reyes. Making the initial play was Nashawn Gregory.
The receiver was able to shake him off, boy, but he had something waiting for him after that.
I think the receiver wished that he would have tackled him. As the video scoreboard shows, nice hit up there. So another timeout. As we take you across the league and the tour of what else is going on. Gloucester Catholic at Middle Township, Hamilton at Holy Spirit, Ocean City at Absegami, Pleasantville at Gloucester City. And you're with us for Timber Creek at Vineland with a supposed 7 o'clock start time in my program. Tomorrow, Woodrow Wilson and Cedar Creek. Get you some updates after halftime, but it's not halftime yet. 11.9 defense needing to hold its third down. So we mentioned Vineland gets the ball back off the field goal by Garton, just down 1 score, looking for possession next half. Can't give anything else up here.
You're in a situation here, Rich, as defensive back, you just can't let anybody behind you. It pretty much is that simple at this point. If they're gonna make completion, just make sure it's in front of you. Make a nice short tackle.
And Timber Creek has no more timeouts. A first down will stop the clock. Pretty much give them enough time to get up on the ball and get a play off or clock it. So 11.9 seconds. Jefferson to throw. He's staring right up at the top. Throws it to Tahib. Makes somebody miss it. Anthony Reyes from behind brings him down with 4 seconds left. Look for Timber Creek to probably clock this, because I think if they tried to do something fancy, it would be out of plays. And he does clock the ball with 1.6. One more play, and here comes the field goal team.
Great pursuit on that last play by Anthony Reyes. I think without him hustling like he was, that was a short touchdown for Timber Creek.
Yeah, it kind of like he sat down in that little hole defensively But then when he gets it, he's quick. I don't know how fast he is, but he is quick. And elusive. The snap is down. The kick is up. It's got plenty of leg. And it's no
Wide
good.
left as time expires.
Hold it left. So he's missed a couple today. Vineland's going to go into halftime, losing this down 10-7, or it's 10-3, but they're getting the football back with a chance to tie. So on a half that went back and forth, we've got a lot to look forward to next half. This one started out, Timber Creek at their own 30. They go 3 and out. Vineland gets it at the 38-yard line. They fumble it. Timber Creek gets it at Vineland's 40, and they miss a 38-yard field goal. Vineland gets it back at their own 20. Tip pass intercepted. Timber Creek gets it at the VHS 9-yard line. Defense stands up tall. 21-yard field goal makes it 3-0 Timber Creek. Vineland next possession, a lot of possessions back and forth. At their own 26, they got half the punt. Timber Creek gets it at their own 49. They turn it over on downs, going for it on 4th down. That Vineland defense makes a stop. Then Vineland gets it back, and they move to the 30, and the pass gets intercepted where Timber Creek takes over. They go 3 and out. Vineland back at the Timber Creek 39. They turn it over on downs. And then a couple scoring drives as Timber Creek's Javon Little has a 5-yard run. But it was on that drive, Timber Creek converted a 3rd and 32 with a pass to Still. And that put them up 10-0 after Little scored. Vineland gets it back on their own 36, march down the field, kick a 34-yard field goal as Garton makes it good. 10-3 Vineland. Timber Creek gets it back near midfield. They march close, but the field goal is no good. We've got a lot to talk about. Looking forward to this second half and Vineland's possessions. Once again, thank you very much to our sponsors.
The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football team this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caters, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, The Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, Technid Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richling Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Bondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Barufi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating and Cooling,
Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating.
The Vineland High School football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season.
Band officers are Mr. Francis Bertuccio, Band Captain Miss Isabella Cruz, Band Lieutenant Miss Anna Maines, and Guard Captains are Ayana Rule and Jenna Mustason. Sit back and enjoy this year's show, Witching Hour.
John Malatesta. I don't know what the hell he's doing. John Malatesta. I itch.
Dude, they had a shortstop the other night, like second last night. His name was Alex Rodriguez. He's not bad. He's not bad. Enzo's nice. There's that kid Lee Rodriguez. He's the eighth grader. Oh, he's eighth grade? Yeah, that's why. Base running area tonight. Common sense. He's eighth grade. He was on the all-perfect game. Really? Yeah, I caught. I umpired behind the area. You were pretty good.
for some second half football. This has been a great start. Vineland trails 10-7, or I keep saying 7, 10-3. They are getting the football back, and the defense has looked really sharp in that first half, and the offense has moved inside the red zone 3 times. So let's see if Vineland's nice second half last week can continue, as Timber Creek has thrown just about everything at them, and the defense has been in the right spot, ready to make plays. And boy, are they coming up and delivering some shots and some real good open field tackles off that passing game.
Yes, they have. Let's see Vineland this half. I'd like to see them take the opportunity, maybe sprint out Shelton a little more, give him the run pass option on some of these plays. Maybe that'll help get the offense moving just that little bit more that they need. I'm also looking for the defense to just continue that dominance that they've had. Yes, they've given up 10 points, but all things considered, as much as they've been out in the field, they have been pretty dominant.
We start momentarily.
Yeah, one was a big play off a turnover. You know, the field goal, they started to drive on the Vineland 9 and only gained 4 yards before they kicked their field goal. So Vineland yet to have that kind of field position. Nice crowd here tonight. As we had a little time at halftime, popped my head out the door. It looked packed behind us, and the bleachers pretty much filled up. This is only the second time we've been here on this new surface, and we bring in last year's South Jersey #1 ranked team to take on the Fighting Clan, and this year they're coming in at number 4. Vineland number 19 last week has dropped out after the loss to Lenape. Looking to right this ship in playoffs with a schedule like this. You know, playoffs are still easily within grasp as you're playing, you know, some of the best teams. You played the number 2,
teams.
the number 4 team. You played an Atlantic City team that was in the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years. And you've taken on the division or Group 5 defending state champs at home for their home opener. And you got the best Lenape probably that you may see all year. And turnovers, with all those turnovers, you've got the ball in your hands with under a minute to go at the 30-yard line. And then, you know, another turnover stopped
you
that.
were right there, and
They were wheeling.
unfortunate. Yeah, just unfortunate. Not with one of those costly turnovers, but they were there.
And Lenape was, like we mentioned, defense being out there. Lenape was kind of like punch drunk out there as the Vineland offense just kept attacking, not giving them time for a break. And really, the defense did such a nice job keeping the Vineland offense on the team with some quick 3-and-outs. Now, Vineland's offense, they're going to get the opportunity to tie this thing up when they get this ball on the kickoff.
Coming off that last kickoff return, looking for that again, maybe a little bit of a better block on that edge.
Yeah, or, you know, with a little more space, maybe a position where you could set up that block, dip on the inside, but there was no opportunity on that last one. But if there's an opportunity, our return guys can certainly do it. As Tall has taken 2 back last year, played a really strong first half defensively. Him and Powell coming up, making some short tackles. It was Reyes all over the field. He tracked one down from behind that could have went for a score on that last drive. And he's not just getting there and wrestling you to the ground. He's delivering a shot as he's played a ferocious first half.
And up front, you had Jameer Malloy doing an excellent job, shedding the blockers, finding the ball.
J.P. Garcia back to return along with Broom. DeAndre Tall Kennedy on the trainer's bench on the sideline without his helmet. He must be a little nicked up. That's a boot. It's probably going to get over. No. From the 2.5. Here goes Broom. Picking his way through the middle. Can he keep his balance? He does, but before he can upright himself, the tackle is made. Possibly touchdown-saving tackle by Vincent Pillow, the senior lineman at 5'9", 195. He got Broom before he could get his balance back under him, but a nice return. Vineland's going to start at their own 40. 34 Broom gets it going in a good way.
Nice 37-yard return on the kickoff there. It's kind of what I was hoping I would see to open up this second half.
And we've mentioned a lot of things about Vineland getting inside the 23 times. They also got inside the 3-yard line. Shelton's going to keep it himself, and he's hit. And it's been the guy doing a lot of the work there, Deshaun Polk. Senior 6'2", 260. He makes his second tackle for loss for the Chargers. So it's going to be 2nd and 12.
Looks like he kind of slanted himself into the perfect spot on that one.
He's on that interior right off the ball down to the bottom of the screen, number 55. Let's see if Vineland tries to throw underneath. They've gone to Powell on a hook screen a few times. That's been fairly successful, and there it is.
There it is. Ah.
Dutra just not able to get the push on Tahib still. Yes, there was a big opening behind that. And, you know, you look at Powell at 6'4", and you're like, oh, he could probably run a little bit. He's one of the faster guys on the team and doesn't take many steps to get in 5 yards.
His 2 steps are our 8.
Very, very close. So 3rd down for Vineland already, 3rd and 12. Nowhere to go. The ball's on the ground.
Loose.
Shelton trying to pick his way, but instead it's another turnover.
Shelton getting up off the bottom of that pile a little slow. Don't know if it's frustration or the hit, but
Yeah, that line had some trouble with whatever slant and stunting was going on for Timber Creek, as Shelton not with a ton of time, but not able to tuck it away either as he tries to move through traffic. So Timber Creek on the Vineland 27. And that's right about field goal range, as during halftime we've got to see the leg. And he's going to take it to the top of the screen himself, gets outside of the containment, and Reyes from the other side of the field dives across. It's like he's moving a little bit. I know the cast doesn't make you run, but he's really getting to the football really quick with a full head of speed.
Again, on that play, Timber Creek again going out into the Wildcat, putting Javon Little taking the snap. Guess they're trying to utilize a little speed when they do actually try to run the ball here.
Looks like Leary's checking in here. Except he's going to...
Actually, he's going to wide out.
He's going to wide out, and Ray French stands alongside Javon Little. So think run, look run, and it's run. Popping to the outside, looks like he's going to have a first down. So Timber Creek mixing it up, a lot of different looks.
A lot of different formations are thrown out there. Think they're building to something here?
I think they're going to keep attacking the edges here. You know, it's nice to have a passing game, but the closer you get to the end zone, the more traffic's in the way.
True.
You know, it kind of takes away a lot of stuff between the hash marks. As you're on the move, you don't want a ton of traffic. There's a give up the middle, and that one's going to go nowhere. And it was Leary at quarterback on that one. So 2nd and 10 and stop for no gain.
A host of defenders on that tackle. Not sure exactly who to get that one to.
See, and it's really hard. Blakely leads the team in sacks with 3. But as that outside backer, you've got to be in coverage on this team. So here comes a stunt. It's picked up. Tahib still takes it, and he's dropped down a little bit short of the first down.
Again, DB doing a good job, making that short tackle as soon as the receiver catches the ball. Not giving that extra opportunity to get a few more yards.
Tall Kennedy walking with trainer Dave as he's trying to get cleared to go back in, but lower leg injury. There's another give. Tackle from the outside by Blackwell. It's going to make it 4th down. And will this be a field goal attempt?
What the one looks like they're going to go for here, Rich.
Very light, about 4 or 5 mile an hour breeze coming from the bottom of your screen to the top, but that's not going to matter as they line up to go for it on 4th and 1. Quarterback under center. He tries to take it himself.
Oh,
Nice second push.
He's still on his feet.
Unbelievable run and push by that offensive line. Vineland got a little greedy trying to rip the football out, and that left the quarterback Leary up on his feet, and he takes it in.
Looked like they originally had him stopped. May not even gotten the first down, let alone the touchdown.
Yeah, too early in the game to go after the ball, and that's a big score for Timber Creek. Now Vineland's offense has to get something done. 7:53 to go. Nearly blocked. It gets through, and it's good.
Extra point attempt is good.
It's going to be 17-3 Timber Creek.
Again, Timber Creek capitalizing on the short field. Yet again, I mean, where did the drive start? The 30?
Right near the 40.
Right near the 40-yard line. So they had a short field to start with. A few plays, and you're right there. You're knocking on the door within a few short plays.
And the defense held them to a 4th down, but the right call was made on the far sideline. It's Coach Rob Hinson. He's actually the defensive coordinator, but sure, he's involved with Jamal White, the offensive coordinator, coming up and deciding to go for that, and it pays off. Don't count Vineland out yet. This is about the situation last week. J.P. Garcia and Broom go back to return with Blakely right in front.
Timber Creek squib kick here. Stay away from that potential of a big break in the run there.
Well, I think you're going to boot it deep, try to get it in the end zone. You know, Vineland had a couple decent returns, but not to take anything away from who's back there, but you'd lose a step without the speedster Tall Kennedy. And that's going to be boomed into the end zone for the touchback. .753. Vineland's going to be starting at their own 20.
I think if possible here would be a good time to start getting the ball back to Anthony Arthur, mixing it up with a pass or two, Conrad Jackson, something they may not be looking for on the defensive side for Timber Creek. Most of the passes today have gone Tyreen Powell's way. Maybe a nice time to find and look for a new receiver.
And there's a give through the middle. It closes up after a short gain. It was Arthur and Tony that had some big catches. Tony had about a 20-yarder in the first half. And given the time, Vineland will be able to spread it out. They've got to get the protection in there. You know, it's been a battle back and forth up on those lines, and I think the one edge has to go to the defensive line of Timber Creek with their speed. Interference, but the ball is caught by Otis Harold. Anyway, get off my back. First down, Fighting Clan at the 39.
Very nice concentration on the ball because he had the defender jumping over top of him. Really not trying to give him any chance to catch that ball. Nice concentration, soft hands, pulls that one in.
Well, I know he made the catch, and it doesn't matter, but
there's a
he
flag.
was there a lot. I didn't even see anybody reaching for it. And then they see him catch it and don't, but I didn't see anybody reaching. And maybe we need to get a little more physical with their receivers.
Might be a false start on Vineland there. Like one of the linemen.
Not many penalties in the first half, just 4, a few 5 yards back and forth, and one almost roughing the quarterback for 15. That would have set us up first and goal inside the 10. But they decided, no, he decided,
Yes.
the official, to pick it up as
I changed my mind. Not going to have that flag go.
wouldn't do that in baseball. 1st and 15. Shelton fakes, takes it himself. He's got a linebacker to get by, and that linebacker makes the play. That's number 9, Vance Carr.
Vance Carr doing a good job staying at home. Reading all his keys.
So modest gain of 1, but just one guy there to make the tackle.
Swing pass.
And looks like the ball's loose again. And another fumble.
Fumble on the play, recovered by number 3.
It's hard to do much with these turnovers.
What makes that number what in turnovers for Vineland today, Rich?
I don't have all that down there, but I believe it's 1, 2, 3. I believe it's our 4th or 5th. At least 4. Had the 2 fumbles this half, 2 interceptions, 1 off a deflection in the first half. Not sure if we had a fumble too.
It's tough.
I track fumbles and penalties when I'm with Coach Parentazzi because he does this drive thing, but got to keep lifting my head up here.
It's tough on your team when you're 4 or 5 turnovers midway through the 3rd quarter already.
See if they go for the jugular. Back to pass, quick out, complete, wrestle down, gain of 4.
Nice short tackle again. One thing the Vine defense has definitely been doing tonight is that sure first tackle.
That's Broom again with a nice stop, but gain of about 4, make it 2nd and 6. We're in the 3rd quarter with 5.5 or almost 6 minutes to go, 5:50 and counting.
Leary back in at quarterback, it looks like.
Leary's going to give. And pursuit from behind.
Ball carrier number 5.
Reyes didn't have time to get there as Blakely makes the tackle, and looks like he's got a little bit of a leg cramp.
Timeout in the field for injury.
As Broom pops back up, it's going to be 3rd and about 6.
There's the old push the toe back, leg cramp.
I always tell Coach, once they start, this isn't the NFL, you don't go in and get an IV real
Yes.
quick. Once they start, they keep coming back. There's no way to amply fix that during a game.
Funny story, Rich. While I was at Fairleigh Dickinson, the New York Giants used to have their summer camp on our campus. So football players, it was a good opportunity. We all used to work as security on the field. So we got to eat lunch with the players and all that stuff in the dining hall. Big shock to me, 2nd day of camp, when players start going down with cramps. And as we're all eating, the trainers come in and start tapping IVs right in the dining hall. It was quite the experience. By about the 3rd or 4th day, we finally got used to it, but it was quite something to see. Somebody just fall to the ground with cramps, and here comes somebody tapping them with an IV.
Well, back in the day, that's what a locker room was. IVs and pain meds. And get back out there, old North Dallas 40. Those of you old enough to remember that. 3rd down and 6. Leary throws and leads his receiver a little bit too much. Nice coverage on the play. And can he get up?
It's cramp.
As cramps come in again for, or not again for Nashawn Gregory. Nashawn Gregory getting his first start. He's not able to get up. It's going to be 4th and 6 from the 26. Be a 42-yard field goal attempt. I don't think we're going to see that. So I started to mention light breeze about 4 or 5 miles an hour from the bottom of the screen to your right. So it's going to be pushing everything to the north side of the stadium, but pushing it just a little bit.
Kind of in that what do we do zone. You're not close enough for a field goal, but you can't punt it, so what do you really do here?
I say don't hold.
Again, we want to say congratulations.
If nobody's open, get rid of it late, draw a flag.
The 2018 Red and Gray Gridiron Lifetime Achievement Award. The Vineland High School football team appreciates your support.
I wouldn't be surprised if they stack trips and Just hit a quick pass to the outside, let the other receivers run people off or block and throw.
Played a major role in helping us become competitive again.
So Nashawn Gregory heads off with his leg cramp. Timber Creek stays in with Leary at quarterback. Think they try a trick play here?
Double move.
Vineland is bringing a rush on the inside.
Oh, that helps Vineland out big
Looks like
time.
a false start. False start by Deshaun Polk, who's been very dominant defensively. 3 tackles for loss and really controlled the middle of the field.
Well, we could tell by what he did, it was definitely going to be a pass play.
He had a nice quick set.
His quick set was there.
You remember when people would jump off sides and they were moving like at half speed. It would be even worse than if you jumped at full speed. At least you're trying to get somewhere. But offensively, just dropped to his set a little early. So now the freshman Leary looks to throw. Vineland sends 2 attackers. The ball is thrown high and incomplete over the head of intended receiver Javon Little. So Vineland takes over on downs.
Vineland take over, we're down, 1st and 10.
No, we've been saying it all night, Rich, but again, the defense.
See, this is what I mean. When I talk to you when you're not at the game and we talk about these games, and I try to tell you we are right there, sometimes it's hard to fathom because you look at a couple late scores here and there, but Vineland at their own 30. So after all that, they pick up 10 yards off the 2 turnovers here. Shelton stays in the pocket, wrestled down, and sacked. And
Again.
Polk said, I'm going to get those yards back, Coach. I'm sorry about that. And really knocks Vineland's down in distance out of whack. It's going to be a loss of about 6.
He is having a nice game.
2nd and 15.
He's doing a good job of standing his blockers up on run plays, and he's doing a good job of shedding his blockers to get to Shelton.
And he's a 6'2", 260-pounder. Sometimes you say 300 pounds, but 6'2", 260, you're not carrying much extra around with you. Vineland's line tight together, trying to take away any room he has. This time he's pushed up, but then his buddy comes up, 58 Jacob Rep, who takes Shelton down after a modest gain of 3. It's almost like his rush near the A gaps, AB gaps.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to. His rush, he's having to be blocked as if he was a defensive end or a tackle in a 5.
Yes,
That-
yes.
The cup is opening up, and then everything underneath looks good to Shelton, but there's nobody blocked in the middle there. So I got to focus on that time, and you know, it was a deep drop trying to run him by like you see edge rushers. But 3rd down now for the Fighting Clan. They need to get something going. Shelton goes deep.
There go the
there's
flags. There we go. Now we got 2 of them, so they can't talk each other out of it.
Unless one says left and one says right. But Tyreen Powell goes up for it. Looks like he's interfered with. And in high school, that's 15 yards. You're not going to go to the spot. And it's an automatic first down, although it would have been a first down anyway. Vineland had 13 to go.
Yeah, when the defender makes no attempt to turn and look for the ball, kind of make it easy for the referees there.
I always wonder about that because you can face guard and see a guy's eyes get bigger, see his arms start to move. Like, wouldn't you want to turn around?
That's how I look at it. That's how you look at it.
When I see your arms start to go and your shoulders rise, I'm going to turn and get up and get to it.
It's coming. It's here.
But the pass interference penalty is much better than a 70-yard touchdown pass for Timber Creek. 1st and 10, Vineland approaching midfield. Shelton looking to find room himself. He finds he gets 2 or 3, but he got everything he was going to get on that. The only thing I think I'd like to see is Shelton gives the fakes and people carry it out pretty good, but not as hard as you are when you get it. And I think if those two lead guys, everybody were to carry out fakes, it makes linebackers have to ID the football.
And flow, maybe flow a cheat a little bit with the flow a little bit. Yes.
See a lot of that looking safeties off. So 2nd and 8. Shelton takes it himself. He loses it, but comes back up with it. Gain of 2 before he's brought down by Emery Moore. So 3rd. That time Shelton on the quarterback draw just needed about another half a second. That wasn't a delay. He got right to it. So another 3rd down for the Fighting Clan. We're under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd. Vineland on the move, trying to get into territory. That one's going to go, and a nice turning reception. Oh my goodness. Outstanding job.
Nazir Broom.
Nazir Broom, in good coverage, turns, protects the football, makes a real nice catch.
That throw by Shelton, beautiful. Put just enough air under it to allow Nazir Broom to adjust to it.
See, I like we were talking at halftime about Shelton sprinting out a little more, but he's having his most success. 1, 2, get rid of it. To the 30, breaking a tackle, stutter step to the 21 before he's nudged out of bounds. Goes Jonathan Toney.
So right there was a sprint out situation. That's how I like to see, with as much pressure as coming in his face when he's in the pocket, let him move around a little bit, find his receivers out in the flats.
The first kick for the Fighting Clan of Vineland, ball spotted at 22.
.129 in the 3rd quarter. Vineland trying to make it a 1-possession game. This drive started on their own 30. They're to the 22 of Timber Creek. And there's Broom up the middle, and he's going to get those 2, get it to the 20-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8. Don't see a ton of stunting linebackers or pressure coming. It's that front line doing the job for Timber Creek, so it takes away those seam routes in the middle. Vineland likes to hit their tight end. There's a bad hold call.
Bad hold.
And Shelton's going to go down, so they may decline it. Well, I mean,
not bad in the sense that the referees blew it.
It was
the holding was,
The holding was very.
He about pulled the defensive lineman to the ground with that hold.
So Timber Creek will probably decline, and that looks like it'll set up a 3rd and about 13. It'll also knock Vineland out of field goal range. And they're going to give Vineland another play. They're going to push them back a little more, it looks like. So it'll be 2nd down again. Vineland's going to move back quite a bit. That play started on the 20-yard line. They're going to come back to the 36. So 16-yard loss on the penalty. Holding penalties go from the spot of the infraction, which this time was about 5 yards
into
behind the
the
line of
backfield,
scrimmage. 45 seconds in running. Vineland gains the down back, but they got a ways to go.
It's a situation you get as many yards as you can.
Shelton trying to step up and get rid of it, stays on his feet and wrestled down right at the line of scrimmage, not able to get rid of it. That was one of the few times they sent some extra people. Now
sent a linebacker or 2 on that one.
Yeah, they sent a D-back off the top of the screen, and I think you see that look again. You got to get Powell on a slant because
call the hot route.
No help in there. Tony, Harold, and Jackson to the top, and that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. Vineland offense has moved the ball. They got to start getting into the end zone. As withstanding this many turnovers is
Into the third quarter.
really tough. You take these turnovers out, I don't know what the defense would have given up, but they've started in horrible field position sometimes. They've made stands when they needed to, and definitely the offense gets something in here. You know, that defense is ready to give you your
Yes.
3 and out and to make a stop. Just got to give them a little bit more room.
Coach Russo having a pretty long talk with Shelton right now.
Well, you know, you've played on a team where freshman, JV, and varsity combined 28 and 4 last year or whatever. You know, JV and freshman, 1 loss between both of them. The kids are used to winning, and it's feeling a little worse for them when if you step back and look, and the classic movie, it's all these little things. And they're doing a lot of the little things good. We're just not keeping the ball. It's just the turnovers. You know, they're a little bit outmanned up front tonight. That defensive line has done really well for Timber Creek, but they're battling and they're giving opportunities. If we're able to hold on to the football, it may be enough. So
Yeah.
3rd and 23.
It's not as much as Timber Creek's defense has been stellar, as much as Vineland has made some errors.
Got a lineman downfield on that one. That'll probably get declined. That pass just traveled too far. On a screen, you can have your lineman downfield, but the pass has to be completed behind the line. Although the running back tipped it behind the line of scrimmage. And the penalties declined anyway, so 4th and 23.
Timber Creek defense looked like they kind of figured screen was coming. Why it took a little longer for that play to develop, for the back to get open, find an open area. Lineman being lineman, you go downfield. Your job is to get downfield and get those defenders.
And Shelton did a nice job continuing to drop back to pull them away from the intended receiver, but just a little high on it and a little bit jumbled with the lineman that didn't get upfield. So to punt, Nate Snell in. Nice snap. Oh, kick is high and short. It's down by Eli Anderson. So Vineland possesses the ball for quite a while, but at the end it's going to be Timber Creek starting out on the Vineland 40. Timber Creek's had the ball 3 times. They started the Vineland 27 off a fumble. They started the Vineland 30 off a fumble. And now off a short punt, Timber Creek starting at the Vineland 40. So good starting field position again. Really need to get that 3 and out as we're just underway in the 4th quarter. Horseshoes and hand grenades were right there. Let's see if the defense can make something happen. Here comes a blitz. There's pressure. Can he get there from behind? No, as Jefferson takes it for about 8 yards before he's brought down. Reyes initially on the tackle.
Blackwell showing great pursuit, great speed, capitalizing on Anthony Reyes' positioning.
Defensive coordinator Cliff Smith's had his back to the wall with this field position, and off these turnovers with this defense, really needs to rally for a stop at 2nd and short. There's a false start. That's going to help. And once again, there's our guy, Deshaun Polk. At least 3 tackles for loss. Now matching that with 2 offsides. But he had that big sack on first down. Granted, the pass interference netted us another opportunity with it on that drive, but that really doomed the drive, that big loss. So much better outcome here. Now Vineland can make a stand here. It's 2nd and 8. 10:40 to go in the ball game. Vineland shows stunt. Trying to get through the middle, hit initially, and spinning off, diving forward for a gain of about 2 is going to make it 3rd and 6.
Would you see this as a passing down for Timber Creek that Vineland needs to look out for?
I think so. I thought the last one was going to be a passing down. I mean, they're not a run team. They don't run the ball very much. We had our pre-game notes. I think the leading running back just maybe had 100 yards through 2 games. I mean, not something they do often, and they've tried to do it out of that wildcat, but just straight run there, and nothing there for Ray French. So 3rd and 5. Comes pressure in the middle, but the play rolls to the top.
Ooh.
Oh, and overthrown. The defender does an outstanding job breaking to the football, but that pass sailed. And both the defender and the receiver have to hit the brakes, but the ball falls harmlessly incomplete. Barry Turner in there in the defensive backfield now. Cooper and Tall banged up.
Turner almost took advantage of that pass that just sailed just a little bit on the Timber Creek quarterback.
Emery Moore, 15, going to be the long snapper on this, and Coluccio to punt. Defense holds to the 3 and out. High snap, pressure. Reyes just not able to get there in time. It's going to take a nice Timber Creek roll. And Powell steps away from it as he has 9 white shirts in his face and nowhere to go with that. So Reyes a step away from blocking that one, but Vineland's defense holds to the 3 and out. Vineland gets the ball back right around their own 16-yard line. So a long way to go. Timber Creek took a little bit of time off. 9.5 minutes to go. Vineland down 2 scores.
Fortunate thing is there's a lot of open field. With the speed Vineland has, it takes 1 completion.
Yeah, 1 big play turns this whole thing. We saw that last week at Lenape when Vineland narrowed it to a 7-point game. Or excuse me, a 3-point game. Shelton steps up, dumps it off, trying to make some people miss. Coming forward for a gain of about 6 on the play is Conrad Jackson. Going to be 2nd and 4.
Shelton again doing a good job stepping up in the pocket, feeling the pressure, stepping up, keeping his eyes upfield, looking for the open receiver.
So 2nd and 4. Shelton swarmed on from behind and brought down. As Polk has a ton of tackles today.
As an offensive lineman, they're like the worst tackles to give up because you don't know your quarterback took off.
And you're like, oh, he's not going towards
Yeah,
it.
the defensive lineman disengages. You have no idea why. And
Shelton to throw. Under pressure, gets it out wide. 1 guy to beat. Makes a move. Stiff arm. He's past him to the first down. Nice job by Broom after the catch. Shelton keeps it alive and finally gets the first down.
good job knowing where the sticks are, making the necessary moves to get that much-needed first down to keep this drive alive.
Eight minutes in running. It's Broom and Shelton are ready. Shelton throws it deep. Oh, and the receiver not able to locate as it drops through his arms there, as he wasn't able to turn and find it in time.
Otis Harold had the defender beat. Pretty well thrown ball.
So 2nd and 10. Clock is stopped, 7:44 to go. Fires. There's holding.
There's the flag.
Javon Little harasses Otis Harold a little bit too much. That's going to give Vineland the first down on 2nd and 10 with the pass interference. Vineland will play Washington Township this season. Washington Township and Eastern all tied up in the second quarter, 21-21. Doesn't seem like a lot of defense being played there.
Not at all.
8 minutes left in the second quarter. I don't know why they have to march it off if it was 1st and 10. What? Isn't that 15?
At minimum, it's a hold, and that's 10.
And maybe that's what they called the hold, because it was exactly 10. It's hard to call a hold when the ball's in the air. That's called pass interference. Another completion as they thread the needle this time, as Jonathan Toney picks up another first down for the Fighting Clan. Had a little trouble last week with Toney and Otis Harold. Similar size and stature, single number on their back. So I'm a little slow call on them. I like to look at our monitor from the shots our crew gives us. First and 10 Vineland approaching midfield.
Right kids the credit for that play.
Shelton the pass again. He's got a little protection. It breaks down, and he's swarmed over. It's going to be a big loss. Had some time to get rid of it. Must not have had a receiver. And Shelton's taking a beating back there tonight. And they lose a ton as they were at their own 48. Now they're back at their 38. Loss of 10. 2nd and 20. What a nice catch by Otis Harold for the first down. He's to the 30.
Making amends to that one that just got through his fingers. The same exact route. This time he hauls that one in.
And Shelton delivered it perfect yet again.
That's one of those passes you dare not underthrow. If anything, you want to overthrow your receiver, make sure he's the only one that can get to it.
Otis Harold having a nice night tonight. He came in with 2 catches for 23 yards. He certainly established himself as another weapon. It's been a battle for Powell tonight. Now they're looking for Powell. Floated up and complete with another pass interference penalty. Of course, that'll be declined as Tyreen Powell gets up and gets it. Shelton the first one to greet him. Vineland offense on the move. And right now for Timber Creek, Roderick Boyd is down on the field. But I believe it was Woods in coverage, though?
It was Boyd. Boyd in cover. He's giving up 6 inches to Tyreen Powell. Vineland took full advantage of it on that play. Full advantage.
Boy, another Beautifully thrown ball.
While we have this injury timeout, I'd like to congratulate some former VHS football players who are playing in either the NFL or college. Jamil Demby, we were talking about at halftime. Probably the worst call he got and the best call he got within a matter of hour or two. You get released by the Los Angeles Rams and picked up by the Detroit Lions. Donovan Bennett playing at Gettysburg University. Rob Blakely playing at a school a little familiar to myself.
There you are.
Fairleigh Dickinson University. Noah Sansalone playing at Bucknell University. Naeem Anderson and Isaiah Pacheco reunited at Rutgers University.
As Coach Russo gets ready after we get the player, finally somebody on the other side got some cramps. Thank you very much, not only to our sponsors, but our crew. Well, it's nice to be home where you know how you're setting up and what you're doing, but great job tonight by our crew. Kayla Spire, Tanner Bushman, Jordan Skarzinski, crew chiefs Doug Diola and Ryan Steinbron, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masuri, the school district's public information officer. Don't forget, if you're watching this live or on YouTube, we're also going to be on Comcast Channel 9 Saturday at 6, Sunday at 6, Monday at 7, Verizon Fios Channel 41, and as always, on YouTube. And when you get there, you're not only going to see a ton of old Vineland football games for you to look at if you missed anything, but everything else happening around the Vineland school districts, from school board meetings to National Honor Society to soccer games, a little bit of everything. So make sure you stop and check it out on YouTube. Just type in VPS, hit that space bar, the word broadcasting, and you got it. So first and goal for the Fighting Clan. They are officially at the 7-yard line. This drive started back on their own 17. It's been through the air with Shelton. The fake, he rolls, floats, complete. Conrad Jackson, touchdown, Fighting Clan. 7-yard pass completion to 81 Jackson. Jackson's having himself a nice season as Shelton sprints out, puts a little pressure on the defense as they roll into coverage. Conrad Jackson finds a spot, makes a nice move. That's the difference between rounding your pattern and running your pattern. Snap, kick, boom! A little confidence in Gardner's leg.
Yes, there is.
After that
Yes,
field goal
there
made
is.
as he drives the ball through. We've got a 17-10 game. 5:40 to go. Vineland has all their timeouts. They need to ask that defense one more time for a big stop. As we see 81 Jackson happy with his touchdown reception. He came into the game leading the team with 156 yards on only 5 catches. So that's going to hurt his total, but he'll gladly take the 5-yard touchdown.
You'll take that
or
one.
7-yard touchdown.
Vineland offense picking the right time to get a little hot. Get momentum shifting back their way. Defense, they keep doing what they've been doing the whole night. They're up for the test. Give Vineland a chance to get the ball back with plenty of time.
Let me tell you, if this is last season with the schedule we had, this team is looking to go 4-0. With their start. Yeah, and this team has had to replace some integral parts, and they've battled and been right there. Now maybe this is the time at home in front of a packed house that you make this comeback stick. Last week was so close, getting down inside the 30 before it was fumbled away with under a minute to go, as Vineland really had the defending Group 5 state champs on their heels. And you see 17 points on the board. You're like, oh, the defense gave some up. They didn't have a lot of field to work with, gave up one big play today, and they have one of the toughest offenses to defend with these 5 wideouts. Defending group champs last year, and also the #1 ranked team at the end of the season, come in at number 4. And we're right there. Now it's just time, Fighting Clan, to finish this off. 5:40 to go. Robert Aparicio to kick. And I'm kicking my chair over. Oh, Aparicio puts his foot into this one, and it's going to go for a touchback. Nice job. We've watched Aparicio for over a year be told to A little pop-up around the 30 is all we want from you. But, boy, you put his leg into that one as to Vineland. The last two plays were Vineland kicking a football, and both looked fantastic.
I think he saw the return man sitting at about the 20 as a challenge. See if I can get this one clear over your head there.
In the back of your head, were you going, stop, like just take one of them goofy hops?
Yeah, it would have been nice.
Well, we have a football right on the L underneath the goalpost. Hope nobody trips on that. The official, I believe, finally sees it as the ball girl takes to the field. Vineland suspecting a little bit of a running attack, and I think they may have called it right, as we have two backs in the backfield. Only have seen that 3 times, but it looks like Wildcat, so it looks like Tahib Still taking the, no, it wasn't. Oh, they have the edge. Right here's, and a late hit.
Yeah, late hit on that one.
Wow, big gain of 11. Personal foul for 15. 26 yards.
Vineland player down. Not sure if they were just on the sidelines when the play finished, or was it actual someone from one of the defensive players.
They need to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Vineland's got 11 there.
Not seeing JP Garcia out on the field, which is
Here we have
one of the starting corners.
who we have back there now. We have Otis Harrell, Sean Gregory, Tyreen Powell,
Barry Turner, I think.
and Barry Turner. Looks like Turner's hand on that little bit of a nickel roll. Vineland finally set 1st and 10. We have 5 guys in the backfield on that, and there's the flag for that. But big tackle on the inside, swallowing him up, DeMarcus Rivers. Yeah, they had too many guys in the backfield there,
Yeah.
I believe. 5:25 to go. Lots of time, lots of timeouts for Vineland. Legal shift, I think, is how we're going to classify this one.
Legal procedure, yes.
The
That flag actually helps Vineland out in 2 ways. One, backs Timber Creek up. Second, stops the clock.
and 1st and 15.
1st and 15. Ball spotted at 42.
Straight dive play is just going to keep that clock running. The flag stops the clock, giving hopefully Vineland offense more time with the ball.
Eliza Jones trying to clog up the middle. 2 backs alongside, possibly another run here. High snap, and they run counter. Trying to get to the top of the screen and does. Cuts back into the middle before he's hit and brought down. It's going to set up 2nd and about 6.
To about the 49.
Now Bachman checks in. 2nd and 6.
We've got 2nd and 6. Ball spotted at the 49.
Vineland going with a little quicker defensive front.
Well, right about now's Malloy time, number 55 on the top of your screen. Last guy with his hand in the ground. If they attack that short side, let's see what he can do. Here they come. Malloy squeezes it down. And the tackle's made is going to be 3rd and about 2.
Long 2.
Long. Clock is running. We still have 4:15 and counting. Vineland with all their timeouts. Don't want to use one here. Player on the sideline that got a little banged up as that play came out of bounds is JP Garcia. Another D-back. Vineland's going through him with Truss Cooper, DeAndre Tall, Kennedy both out. Now JP Garcia, and they're facing the best passing attack they'll probably face, not just this year, but for a few years. There's the run. Bachman spooks him around the outside. Big!
Oh, big hit. Big hit.
Ty stops them short of the first down. 4th and 3. The Vineland fans are rallying behind the team with 3:30 to go. The players ask for a little encouragement. Timber Creek says, we don't run the ball, but we're going to do it to you here on 4th and 1. It's a great opportunity to get great field position. 2 running backs. They may try to power this up the middle or just draw Vineland off sides. Let's get your coach back off the field. And they do snap it. They head to the top, getting an edge and getting the first down.
The first down.
Got it by a couple yards.
It's the most success, running success Timber Creek has had all day has been getting to the edge. And they utilized that there to pick up that crucial first down.
And 2:55 to go. Vineland will probably start using their timeouts after this play. Got to figure Timber Creek wants Vineland with no timeout, so they may run this ball 3 times here. Justice Jefferson has Ray French alongside him, and French has not been able to get it going. And Timber Creek takes a timeout, and Vineland's defense says, we'll take that. Give me a little bit of water, and let's get ready for the end of this one with 2:40 on the clock. This is a very game Vineland team.
Coach Cliff Smith out there.
You're down a score. Team goes for it on 4th at midfield and they get it. You still got timeouts to make another stop, but you're doing this. You're in the ball game. You've held your own and then plus some. Had at least 4 turnovers. I think it's 5 now. And you're down a score trying to get the football back against a number 4 team in South Jersey. Like this
right
team,
there.
this team is right there. And hopefully tonight's the night that they bust through. And they're doing it banged up on defense. We talked about Nashawn Gregory getting the start tonight in the slot. He's in there. Barry Turner's in there. J.P. Garcia on the side. Tall Kennedy on the side. Truss Cooper on the side. And they've been holding up well. No backs alongside. Oh, here he comes. And there's a quarterback. Tries to get to the outside. Let's use that timeout, but no.
Yep, they did.
Nazir Broom makes the stop. Quickly a timeout called. 2:32 to go. And a loss of about 3 on the play is going to make it 2nd and 13. Well, if you're Timber Creek, you just run this thing. Make Vineland use their timeouts. Are you happy punting away with Vineland, no timeouts and 2 minutes on the clock?
If I'm on the other sideline, yes.
Well,
knowing Vineland's
right.
offense, with the exception of that last drive, has struggled at times
Exactly.
tonight, yes, I would be happy.
Yeah, Vineland hasn't shown the big play except that last drive with 2 completions on 2 pass interferences.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the first half, you're thinking, oh, yeah, I'd love to be in that position. Talk about your unsung heroes. A lot of new shirts in there. The defense is battling a high-powered, unique offense.
It's bad enough Vineland defensively is put in a situation where you have to put an extra corner or safety out there just based on 4 or 5 wide receiver spreads. And then you're thinning out as the game goes on. Just makes it tougher, a lot tougher.
Your projected 3 starters from the defensive backfield are out. There's a give up the middle. Nothing there again. Stopped after a gain of 1.
Nasir Broom and Bachma filling the gap, shutting that down.
Vineland takes another timeout, 2:27 to go. It's going to be 3rd and 12. I think when coaches watch back through this game, they're going to see some really good tackling. You know, the big play they had was somebody in space getting it and outrunning some people. But their tackling has been outstanding, as there had to be about 8 one-on-one tackles made, if not more. Everybody loves to get these fast receivers. All of them go 5'10" to 6 foot tall, 170 to 185 pounds. They're tracksters. Get them in space, one guy misses and you're gone, but Vineland hasn't missed.
Hasn't missed.
And how are you good at tackling when you can hardly tackle at practice anymore? It was different when I coached, but it was, no, you wear all your pads every day. Even on walkthrough day, you never know when we're going to hit. 2:27, third down. Timber Creek has one back alongside, three receivers to the bottom, and they're going to pass it. And it's a screen. And it's complete and not able to make the tackle. My goodness, for a first down goes Timber Creek.
Just as we praise the open field tackling, the one-on-one tackles, could have really used one right there.
And that would have been a loss of about 4. Instead, Vineland looks like they're going to use their last timeout.
Injury timeout.
Oh, injury, okay.
Like Blakely's cramping up again.
Well, now time's a factor, 2:17 to go.
Yeah, let's hear it for the Vineland High School cheerleaders.
Vineland has one timeout. When you're coaching midget football, you don't call it here because you think they may not know to wait 25 seconds before they snap it. But when you're 2017 South Jersey #1 team, Timber Creek, you certainly know that.
Yes.
Interesting, a coach wants to call it now or wait till after one of these plays, but he only can stop it one more time. All right, let's try this the other way. You know, and Timber Creek has really controlled the football, not had it loose, haven't turned it over. They've executed without a turnover today. All right, I think I primed the pump. So Vineland down another D-back as we just addressed that, or this is actually a linebacker, but he's been stuck in coverage a lot, Blakely.
You're headed back to your old
Wish
it true.
And passing it deep. Whoa, tip! Otis Harold.
Beautiful. He's upset with himself that he didn't make the interception. He just did an awesome job of getting his head turned around and deflecting that pass because that was sure looked like it was headed for 6.
So Vineland doesn't have to use the timeout, and Timber Creek didn't let it run down either. So a double break, you could take another 20 seconds off the clock had they let it run down. The incompletion stops at 2:05. And it's 2nd and 10. Otis Harold is having himself a football game tonight. Now Conrad Jackson locked up in coverage on Vance Carr. And they're going to try to run it. Picks up about 2 or 3. Wrestled down. Looks like coach has used his last time out. Timber Creek trying to drive down and take all the time off the clock. This drive started at their own 20. And with a late hit penalty and about a 13-yard gain, it was a big plus 25 from there. Got them almost to midfield at the 45, where they've been nickeling and diming until that big sweep got them set up nice. But now it's 3rd down, 1:55 to go.
You think they dare, if they don't make this, get this first down on 4th down, to actually go and attempt a field goal?
Well, let me tell you, I would never slap a grown man. But if they throw this again and it goes incomplete, like that's a lot of trust and respect in your offense. But now that you have this field position, you hand this ball off. You're in your field goal range from what the kicker was doing pregame.
Yes.
We said about 40 was the extent of his range. 155. Vineland trying to mount a comeback.
We'll tell if they have this running play go to the middle of the field, we'll know what their intentions are.
But low snap, it's on the ground. Hit and dropped.
From here, I think you're pushing his leg.
He's out of it with that tackle for loss by Broom. It's going to make it 4th at the 30 to be a 46-yard field goal. I don't think he has the leg for that. We had figured around 36, stretch it to 40, but added another 6. Boy, that Vineland defense so banged up. in the key positions in the secondary tonight. And hats off to Coach Russo and Coach Defensive Coordinator Cliff Smith that we've been in the right spot, doing the right thing. One guy got loose, and that was it for the whole game. Been really good coverage, and the speed Otis Harold had closing on that play.
Giving Vineland a chance with just that one play.
And Timber Creek takes a timeout with 1:07 to go. So if Vineland can make a stop here, they'll have about a minute to try to get down the field and into the end zone. Timber Creek probably second guessing that pass on second down. Second guessing not taking the 20 seconds off the clock before you snap it. We're talking 45 seconds. That leaves us 22 seconds on the clock, something like that. If you were my math teacher, I apologize. So fourth down.
At that point, it's trick plays and Hail Marys.
Crowd's hanging in there tonight. This team has rallied yet again in the second half. But just the field position early and the turnovers. Vineland's first two drives, they fumbled in their own territory. And that was a little bit much to handle. 1:07, fourth down. Jefferson looks like he has Clarence Henderson. He looks kind of big back there, or is that still? It is Henderson. He's just there to block, but he's pushed into and he's grabbed and held, trying to run for the first down. He's not going to get it. Vineland's going to get it at their own 20 with 59 seconds left. You wouldn't have accepted that holding penalty anyway.
No. Although Henderson did have a pretty nice bear hug on that play.
That's what you noticed. I'm like, who the heck is standing back there? I forgot what Henderson's number was, 7. They got him at 5'11", 210, but he stood out like a sore thumb. There's no way Ray French is 5'10", and he's 5'11". He looked about 3 inches taller than 6 foot tall still. So here's the Vineland offense. We had the same conversation last week. They got a ways to go, but they have the football. What are we doing here?
Timber Creek using their final.
You know, and they signal stop play, and they don't point to them for the timeout. Referees are getting a little lazy out there. But yes, that is it. Timber Creek has used their last timeout. 59 seconds left. Vineland has 80 yards to go.
Now as good a time as any to utilize all that speed you have out, flanked out to both sides of the field.
Last week, this is where Tony got really involved with like a little 15-yard kind of outs, almost like slants, but like kind of outs, and he did a lot with his feet. Now is Timber Creek going to press and play? This is another tough decision.
Yes.
For Rob Hinson, the head coach at Timber Creek, because if you press and play regular, you have a few guys that can beat you.
They'll beat you.
If you play soft, you're going to get it to where Shelton can reach the end zone once he gets to midfield. So Justin Houston is just going to play a few extra yards back in center field. There's the blitz, and it's intercepted. And out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Tahib Still, he's had a ball game as that one just came out a little late to the outside and still made a play on it with 48 seconds left. First and goal, Timber Creek.
Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers.
You turned the ball over 6 times to the number 4 team in South Jersey.
And you're down 7.
And you had the ball in your hands down 7 when they had a 27-yard scoring drive starting at the Vineland 27. You fumbled the ball away inside the 3-yard line. All right, Coach Leary. Excuse me, Coach Hinson. Thinking about who's in at quarterback there. Very tight formation. Jefferson under center, and they're going to give over the right side in the end zone. There's a flag on the play. Big call here if Vineland's going to have a breath, and it is on
Illegal
the
shift
offense.
on the offense.
Guess what I do when I have that football? I kneel down, because if somebody fumbles the ball, you're in a world of trouble. You have this game.
Yep.
If you just have your quarterback drop to a knee. Greedy was the pass that saved a minute for Vineland to try to get there. .44 seconds left.
Turn into the miracle at Gittone.
That's how belief starts, with a miracle,
Yep.
right? Vineland defense with their back against the wall. 3 running backs straight behind. Fresh jersey in the back. It's the give. Hit. And squirting in the end zone for the touchdown is Tavon Alderman, the senior running back. So I mentioned fresh jersey in the back. I wouldn't bring a new guy in to touch the ball for the first time today either, but it all works out for Coach Rob Hinson and Timber Creek.
Not faulting defense at all for that last score. They played their hearts out the entire game.
This is kind of what happened with Williamstown too. We talk about we're kicking a field goal to tie it 10-10 in the fourth quarter. 24, whatever it was, 14
Yes.
or 7, whatever it was. You're like, oh, they got handled. Well, they didn't.
Those late scores
And that defense needs to keep
costly
their head
turnovers.
up. They've played a good game.
Defense, nothing to be ashamed of.
So with 36 seconds left, Vineland will be returning the kick. We'll start taking care of some housekeeping here. Once again, thanks to our crew, Kayla Spire, Tanner Bushman, Jordan Skarzinski, crew chiefs Doug Dealer, and Ryan Steinbaum, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district's public information officer. Gallant battle by Vineland with one of South Jersey's best coming in, and it's been 2 home games against the number 2 and number 4 team in South Jersey. And as we hit fourth quarters, we are right there.
Playing them tough to the very end. Just
Turnovers.
turnovers. It's another, you hate to keep harping on it, but that's what it comes down to.
I think I have 7 now. And if you're Timber Creek and somebody gives you the ball 7 times and they have the ball in their hands trying to tie it or you win it, that's a lot of good film for you to watch.
Played with a decimated defensive backfield. No other way to say it, but yeah.
And they shut down the passing game.
And you shut down the
pretty well.
passing game. Defensive front did what they had to do.
All right, let's see on this return here. Trying to get into the middle. It's kind of clogged up. Spin, drop down at the 16-yard line with 29 seconds to go. They say a chip in a chair, but not many teams get 2 possessions in 28 seconds.
Yeah.
Fate and karma not on Vineland's side. As
Stranger things have happened, but
first and goal at the 1, you take a knee. This is all over, and we're wrapping this baby, but they decide to pound it in. Shelton and Broom in the backfield. Jackson at tight end. Broom makes a nice move, gets to the 30, and he's brought down after a first down with 20 seconds left. Well, T, love, do you get what I'm telling you when I talk about this team?
Yes.
And all this, they're getting better each week. The turnovers are one thing, but all this is leading to an end of the season where you may have somebody that can compete with just about anybody. Nice job using the blocks, picking up about 6, and that's going to do it for the ball game as Vineland falls short 24-10. As Garton with a field goal is first. Vineland got back into it 10-7. Before we wrap it up, let me take you through that second half as good as I can. Vineland started on their own 40. There was a fumble. Timber Creek recovered it. They started on Vineland's 27, and quarterback Leary went in from about 5 yards out on a quarterback sneak. Vineland got it back off the touchback at the 20 and fumbled it away, where Timber Creek took over at the Vineland 30. They went for it on 4th down and didn't get it. Vineland got it back at their own 30, moved a little bit, and then had to punt it away. Timber Creek got it at their own at the Vineland 40 and punted it away. Vineland gets it back at their own 17. They march all the way down the field, and a 7-yard pass to Comrade Jackson makes it 17-10. Timber Creek gets the ball back at their own 20, marches down the field, but turn it over on downs when Vineland gets it back with just over a minute at their own 29-yard line. And the out pattern gets jumped and picked off and returned to the 1-yard line where Timber Creek's last drive started at the Vineland 1, and they cashed it in. So for Vineland, another game that we could have. Yeah, and I'm not saying you should have. The turnovers are one thing, but
The opportunities were there.
opportunities are there. There was times where if the number 4 team in South Jersey came in, we'd be talking about, well, we got 3 first downs in the second half. But what you had was a team that was ready to battle, as is the case with Coach Russo and the Vineland Fighting Clan. And we look forward to what comes next. T-Love, what are your thoughts on this one?
Again, just some little things Vineland needs to clean up. A little better ball handling. A little bit better up front for the offensive linemen. One or two of those fumbles maybe is because a defender got to the running back a little faster than they anticipated, can cause a fumble. Other than that, I'm going to just praise the defense, keep praising that defense. They did an excellent job. I don't see them backing down from that for the rest of the season. They've kept the offense and given the offense chances since the beginning of the season. I don't see that changing for them.
Well, for Vineland, next week it's Trenton Central coming to Vineland, listed as a 7 o'clock start. I think it could end up being a 6 o'clock. And you remember what happened the last time we played Trenton Central, don't you? Me neither. I don't think we've ever played them before.
The
but
Tornadoes, I believe, or something thereabouts.
So they're coming down to Gittone Stadium next week as Vineland looks to turn this around. But a gallant effort by the Fighting Clan goes in the loss column, but the game much closer than the score. Final 24 Timber Creek, 10 Vineland. This is Rich Scarpa for Terry Love, who I thank very much for stepping in for Coach Parentazzi. Thank you all very much, and make sure you check out these sponsors.
The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football team this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caters, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, The Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, Technid Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richling Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Torrisi Petroleum Transporters, Bondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating. The Vineland High School football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season.